Hello and welcome to Lex Local. I'm your host, Rick Dorrington. The problems at Minuteman High School are still reverberating in Lexington. Dr. Kathleen Dawson is still on leave pending investigation for misconduct. Minuteman parents showed up to the latest Lexington Select Board meeting to show their concerns for Minuteman School Board member Judy Crocker. Crocker was on the docket to be reappointed to the school committee.
When you are recognized to speak, either in the room or on Zoom, please identify yourself by name, address, and any relevant board or committee affiliation.
There still remains a process where we might be receiving input and then debating or coming to our individual conclusions and voting as a board.
I am requesting a delay in the reappointment of Judy Crocker's Minuteman School Committee position. We need to hold accountable someone who did not properly perform their due diligence in the hiring process of the Minuteman superintendent. There is evidence of red flags that were ignored, including concerns raised by a member of the hiring committee, and let us not forget, she was voted out by Lexington residents back in 2017 when she was up for the Lexington School Committee post.
Ms. Crocker is a member of the school committee that followed a failed process resulting in the hiring of a problematic superintendent who was placed on leave before the end of the school year.
For you to say, Joe, that you're comfortable with putting forward the same person that ignored the 51A that was filed in September is astounding to me. I think that the parents of Minuteman, the citizens, deserve better. I know the kids do, because this is now this is on you now. If you reappoint her, this is your liability. You're saying everything was okay, that's okay. And when she met with the parents, she minimized that. It's an ongoing investigation. So I really hope you're clear about the impact that your decision will have on children. I move to remove item 3, reappointing Judith Crocker to the school committee, to be removed from the agenda. Thank you.
Now, with one select board member absent from the meeting, they decided to postpone the reappointment of Crocker until their next meeting. 350 Mass, a Massachusetts-based environmentalist group focused on climate change, held a Zoom meeting on the proposed Hanscom Airfield expansion. The meeting had over 600 people join virtually.
This is a plan of an expansion project for private luxury jet infrastructure at Hanscom Field, located 15 miles west of Boston, at the north edge of the airfield. And you don't have to understand what's going on in this picture. But what you do need to understand is the magnitude of it. This footprint of this is actually 2/3 of a mile wide, for a reference. And it includes 27 hangars, which can hold multiple private jets. They've basically said to the public, the purpose of it is to respond to planned growth in private luxury jets. Interestingly, this is the largest such project in the entire United States that we've been able to discover so far. We have to tell our leaders that no private luxury jet infrastructure should be built anywhere because it's antithetical to state law and federal emissions plans. But the governor, because she appoints the executive director, has the power to go in and sort of say, okay, let's not do this. And she can do that in the back room. She doesn't have to do it in public or fire them to accomplish that.
Yeah, I want to second what Neil's saying. I am entirely confident that if the governor makes it a priority, she will have no problem putting the kibosh on this. That's how politics works. She's got the power to do it. And as I say, I think if she's sufficiently alerted, she will. Our job is to sufficiently alert her, make it clear that it's a strong groundswell of opposition to this. Climate change is an existential risk in this world, something we have to stop. But we shouldn't overlook the fact that the health burden of just burning fossil fuel is immense. 9 million people a year on this planet die. That's 1 death in 5 from breathing the combustion byproducts of fossil fuel. If you've been to Delhi or Shanghai in recent years, that won't come as a complete surprise to you. But it's not just there. There's hundreds of thousands of cases of childhood asthma in this country every year linked to combustion byproducts of fossil fuel. And we all know who gets to live next to the runway, next to the highway, next to the refinery. So these are deep issues around environmental justice and environmental racism, and it's why this solidarity is so important.
Some very exciting news for a Lexington family. Lexington's own Will Smith was drafted into the NHL. He'll be playing hockey for the San Jose Sharks. Smith was drafted 4th overall in this year's NHL draft.
With the 4th selection overall, the San Jose Sharks are proud to select Will Smith from the USA Development Program.
Lexington resident Paul Savuto is raising awareness for living kidney donation by competing in long-distance swimming competitions. Savuto donated a kidney to his wife over 20 years ago, and now she needs another one.
The time that Deb needed a kidney was around late 2001. It became apparent that her kidneys were beginning to decline, and as a result of her having this rare disease, Alport's, it was going to be necessary for her to have a transplant. It became apparent that I could be a potential candidate to donate to Deb, which was something we hadn't really thought of or considered. In fact, we immediately started thinking about members of her family who could potentially donate, and we quickly became aware of the fact that her brother, her mother, most likely potential candidates, also had a variant of the Alport's gene. So they would not be eligible or considered to be candidates to donate. And so when I realized that I could in fact be the donor, it didn't even take but a minute for me to process it, to go, well, I want to be that donor if I can be. Deb's blood type is A positive, and I'm O negative. And in terms of the medical terminology, I am the universal donor and she is the universal recipient. So I always think that's very romantic. I was out of the hospital, I think it was 2 days, and I was recovering at home, and I was back at work about a week later. So it was not a long time. And around that time, again, this is 21 years ago, I was active in triathlon. I was doing triathlons, and I pretty much started exercising again about 2 months later. And I actually was in a triathlon. I think we did the surgery in April, and I think I was in a triathlon in July. A year ago now, she went in for routine testing with the nephrologist that she sees routinely, and the nephrologist did notice the decline in the kidney function of the kidney she had. And to this point, we have not identified a donor who can donate a kidney, either to Deb or anyone else for that matter. So there's still an active campaign going on. I looked at this as a real challenge, and it made me anxious, and rather, I think I was probably angry that it wasn't going to happen the way I thought it was going to happen. Meaning, finding someone closer to us without having to go out to social media. So that initial resistance is really one of those, well, this is a change that I wasn't anticipating. Well, guess what? That's what life is all about. You can't anticipate every possibility. Your plans are, unfortunately, just that. They're plans, and they don't always work out the way you want them to. So you have to be flexible and capable of saying, well, you know, I gotta take what I've got and make it work. And that we're dealt this hand, so let's play. It's really, in a nutshell, it's demonstrating that living kidney donation is not an end to your life. You're going to be able to continue to do the things you love. I'm actually part of an organization called the Kidney Donor Athletes. They really give me hope. Many of them have donated their kidneys to complete strangers. They are heroes amongst us. I mean, I donated to my wife because she is my family. But what do you say about a person who is sitting behind, sitting on a couch watching television and sees a story about someone who needs a kidney, and they pick up the phone and they call their local transplant center and ask how they can help, that they want to donate their kidney. To be able to get a new transplanted kidney from a living donor would mean 20 plus years of travel and enjoyment of our lives together with our daughter. The alternatives are unthinkable.
There's a small store in Lexington Center with a big mission: reducing plastic waste. Center Goods is the subject of this edition of our local business profile.
Hi, I'm Erica Bouchard-Ravens. I'm a Lexington resident, and I own Center Goods here on Waltham Street. Center Goods is a sustainable goods and eco-friendly store. So what that means is we sell things to help you cut your waste, and particularly your plastic waste. And that can come in a lot of different forms. But some of the heart of the store are the refills, which means you can bring in any container from home and refill it with soap and shampoo and conditioner and laundry detergent and dish soap, and you never have to buy a plastic bottle again. You can reuse the same container for years. That's a great way to start cutting your plastic waste. But we sell lots of other things that are amazing products that really can make a difference in your life. I try to support artisans and also fair trade organizations. Fair trade, I think, is another part of the equation. Marginalized communities are often hit hardest by climate change. I think that they deserve support and places to kind of sell their wares. So I have gift items and kitchen items from fair trade organizations, as well as jewelry. You know, they're beautifully made, and I think it helps keep cottage industries going in some of the poorer places in the world. I also have some locally made products, which is really fun. Soap and face masks and greeting cards. We want to support as many local artisans as possible. How I started was with laundry detergent, because about 5 or 6 years ago, I saw EPA data that said at that time only 8.7% of plastic was actually getting recycled. And I didn't realize that when I was piling up my recycling bin, I sort of thought, great, I'm doing the right thing. I'm putting as much plastic as I can in there. And when I saw this data, I realized I was doing nothing to help the environment, because this plastic actually wasn't getting recycled. And what I realized is that the way to help the environment is to reduce my plastic intake altogether. And I started looking for local sources where I could get this stuff, and I didn't find any. I was sort of hoping someone else in Lexington would open a store like this so I could shop here, but they didn't, so I decided to do it. And I'm hoping that There are other people in our community who feel the same way that I do and are looking for a local resource for their own homes. I try to support small businesses as much as possible and independent companies, so most of the products here are made by people who are really doing the right thing for all the right reasons, and I love being part of that circular economy where we're all supporting each other in the best ways possible. I have the benefit here of seeing the cumulative effect of what a bunch of people doing individually, what that can look like. And what that looks like to me is 5,000 refills in a year. I hope that that number continues to grow, because honestly, that's just a handful of people hardly trying, So 5,000 bottles is a great start that we've diverted from the waste stream completely. And I think, when people sort of start thinking, well, it's just me, I'm just an individual, does it really matter? I really think it does. You don't have to be perfect. You can just start with one thing, and it really can make a difference. I passionately believe that our individual choices do matter, and that's why I have this store.
For the past several years, Lex Media has been a partner in Cotting School's Project Bridges, which introduces Cotting students to a variety of professional skills. Recently in our studio, they learned the technical and creative skills for podcasting and television.
Hello, and welcome to the Cotting Club podcast TV show finale of season 1. Cotting School reached out to us last year, and they asked us if we would mind students come in once, twice a week. We said yes. We jumped at the opportunity because we love teaching, and we figured the best place for them would probably be the podcast studio. I wanted to have them do a podcast about what they wanted to talk about. So the very first day, we talked about ideas and what we were going to be doing, and we pretty much just settled on stuff that they felt comfortable talking about. And eventually it just turned into 2 podcasts. One of them was called the Tri-Media Podcast, and the other one was called the Cotting Club Podcast. They would come in with their teachers from Cotting School, that would be Katie and David, and together we would make a 30 to 50 minute podcast.
So this was all of our first year going out to work. So coming here and allowing them to do a podcast, and on the last day do a video, it really made their year going out to work and getting them ready to go out to job sites when they get older and stuff like that. So thank you, Lex Media, for letting us come.
Oh, our pleasure.
And all year they were talking about possibly doing a TV version of their podcast, because I would show them our beautiful studio that we have. I told them for our finale, if they would like, we can do a TV version. So through a few meetings and some more pre-production, we were able to get in front of the camera. I was on camera with them to help guide the show, make sure that it doesn't get stuck on one category for too long or anything like that, while also giving everybody a chance to speak. So we did it for the Tri-Media Podcast, and we did it for the Cotting Club Podcast. So I'm joined here by Steven and Damien up here. We also have Graham behind the scenes. I'm joined by Jordan and Michael, and unfortunately Logan is not here. He's usually the third person that's part of this crew. And at the end of the day, we got 2 17-minute episodes of what they're into. They also made graphics for the show, as you can see behind us. All in all, we had a lot of fun making the TV show with them. I had a lot of fun making the podcast. They're great kids, and we look forward to continuing the relationship with them.
I mean, we're letting the giggles out right now, but I think they did an incredible job in working on their maturity and stuff like that. That's really key in the workplace, so they did awesome.
Terry just showed us the podcast room in the TV studio, and I'm so grateful to them for their intentions to us, and we're so grateful to Terry for his hard work at Lex Media.
The staff at Cary Memorial Library have created a host of challenges to help you keep the kids busy this summer. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Lozon, Head of Youth Services here at Cary Library, and I'm here to ask you if you're ready to take the 2023 Summer Challenge. What is the Summer Challenge? It is our special program this summer from age 0 all the way up through entering senior year of high school, where we are challenging you not only to read, but to do fun activities this summer. So for our reading program, we are challenging you to set your own reading goal. It could be anywhere from I'm gonna read 10 hours to I'm gonna read 1,000 hours. Think about how much you can read this summer and challenge yourself and set yourself a goal. As we get closer to the end of the summer, you're gonna look at your goal and you're gonna look at how much you've read and how much you've recorded on your summer reading log. Are you close to your goal? Are you gonna meet your goal? Or do you need to adjust your goal? Because part of this learning experience is learning how to set an actual achievable goal. And then at the end of the summer, you're gonna come in, you're gonna show us how much you read, and we're gonna give you a prize. The other part is our Summer Challenge Bingo, and that is our activity challenge. And we have 3 different bingo boards. We have our ages 0 to 2 bingo board, our ages 3 to 5 bingo board, and our grades K to 5 bingo board. And there are different activities, age appropriate. You're just gonna do those fun activities. And it's things like play outdoors, do a science experiment. And for the little kids, go for a walk, paint with water. And when you do the activity, you cross it off on your bingo board. When you get a bingo, and when I say bingo, I mean horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, you're gonna earn $1 in book sale bucks. And you can earn up to $5 this summer. Now those book sale bucks are gonna get you special admission into a Friends of the Library kid-only book sale in September. Now this book sale is super exclusive and only people who earn book sale bucks are able to enter it. So that is our special summer challenge this summer. We also have a lot of really fun events happening. Truck Day is back this year. That will be happening on July 21st in partnership with the police department, the fire department, the Department of Public Works. So you can come, explore those vehicles, meet their drivers, and thanks to the Friends of the Library, Mo will be here with his ice cream truck again. Our teddy bear picnic is gonna be back this year on July 11th. We're gonna be down at Tower Park. Weather permitting, of course, come join us, bring your teddy bear, bring a picnic blanket, and join us. We're gonna have Todd the Magician on July 19th for a special sensory-friendly magic show. We also have Mr. Vinny and his giant bubbles coming in August, along with a really cool interactive silent movie. Have you ever seen a silent movie? You're gonna be able to make the sound effects that go with a silent movie. Didgeridoo Down Under is going to be here in August, and Toe Jam is going to be our end of summer big finale summer concert. And in addition to those events, we have all kinds of other fun summer things happening, so be sure to check out our events at carylibrary.org.
Today we'll close with some highlights from the various town graduations. Thank you for joining us. For all of us here at Lex Media, enjoy the summer. I'm Rick Dorrington.
LHS community gathered here today by the powers vested in me by the Superintendent of Schools, the Lexington School Committee, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby and proudly declare the Lexington High School class of 2023 to be graduated.
Welcome to Clark's 2023 8th grade moving on ceremony. Take your hand one more time and cheer for the family and friends who have supported us all through this school.
You always have a place at Diamond. So always remember, if you ever want to come back to visit, if you ever want to come back to speak to any of our staff, we're always here for you. We will always help you. And as I said when I entered, if we don't have the answer, we know exactly how to get it for you. Okay, and so with that, I want everyone to stand so we can give you a round of applause, a standing ovation. Everyone stand. Okay, give yourselves a round of applause. You've done well. Okay.